That's how. Here we go. Good morning. This is our Friday morning huddle. Thanks everybody for taking the time today. I'm excited to be joined by our diamond six-figure ring earner, Trish Verzera. And we also have awesome leadership with uh, Ruth out in Canada. And we've got Lisa. I think you're out in the East Coast as well. Thanks everybody for jumping on. And what a thrill. Did you guys see yesterday's the live secret broadcast? I'm like, I don't even know if you guys could sleep last night. I don't think I did.
Nope.
How about you guys? I don't think I slept. I think I
That's
was
like a log.
oh man, I was in the space of all the possibilities and the new secret and the fun. And to have that wrap up with Mark yesterday was just perfect, I think. Now you guys got a little infusion of what we've been talking about this week about how phenomenal this man is. And last week when we met, I started talking about the power of events, and I wanted you guys to get prepped for this. That's why I brought it up, because I know what he's bringing, and it's going to change the course of our business. And we're at such a turning point right now, and it's so exciting. So I just wanted to welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. I just had two quick announcements. I talked to corporate a couple times. The things that are slowing orders down are probably boosters. I guess we blew out the resets. We blew out the boosters with those resets. So now they're back ordered, and chocolate shake's still back ordered. So if somebody's not getting shipped, it could be that they had a booster or some boosters on their order. But what they're doing now, as of yesterday, it's what they told me, is that they're actually going to be shipping everything except the boosters, and they'll put a note in there that it'll come when it gets into the warehouse. So that's just for me to you. If you guys know any more than that, that's just the latest that I heard. And I want to just turn it over to our amazing leadership. So I don't know, I haven't seen if the gentlemen are on here, but Trish, I would love for you to share insights on the leak and or what you want to take it away from yesterday's amazing corporate announcements with our CEO and, you know, Isaac, and hearing from the new president, Eddie Hag. What can you bring to share this? Because you've been there in Phoenix, you'll know a lot more about what's going on the inside.
So that's actually kind of funny. I don't know anymore. No, I probably know just a little bit, but one second, I'm just posting in our group real quickly this link because I'm not sure if everybody has it. So let me just post in our group. Hang on one second. Just want to make sure, because sometimes we don't post the link, we definitely don't get as many people on. So, okay, perfect. So what I can share with you is I did have the pleasure of going over to the DoubleTree last week where they were holding that event with some of the World Ventures people. I went over actually as the event was supposed to be over with, but it ran a little bit late. Okay. And a lot of people had, changed their tickets and stuff. And so they were actually hanging out longer. So I had the pleasure of meeting with, a lot of the top leaders there. And I can tell you, I'm just so excited for this. Like, they are some of the most humble, most kind, like just really fit into that secret culture that we all know and love. And they're so grateful to be here. And I just think that they're going to have so much value to offer, not only, because they've been top leaders as well, but when it comes time to start really promoting this whole travel piece, they're going to be so helpful to us. And, obviously they're looking to us for guidance on how to help them on the skincare nutrition side. But they're really excited too, because they love our compensation plan. They're like, oh my gosh, had we had this compensation plan with what we had, we could have really crushed it. So just so many exciting things. I feel personally, so a lot of you, Mike knows this too, because he's been here, but when I came to Secret, Muzaffar was the VP of Field Development. And what that means is he went out and he was training the field. And so he would do events every single month all around the US and Canada. And of course, that's where I had talked, earlier about where I had, where I really got all my training, because I would go to those events every single month, no matter where they were at. Right. And when Muzaffar, came into the field, those events kind of went away. because he no longer was corporate and he was the one who had been doing all the events. So he would, he still tried to hold some of those. And, we helped him set some of the events up. Like I know we did one in Dallas, we did a couple here in Phoenix, and obviously we did that virtual one in the fall. But obviously when you're in the field and you're trying to set up an event like that and run the event like that, it's much more difficult because you don't have that whole corporate team taking care of all those pieces for you. So I feel like it's something that, the organization for sure has been missing to some degree, because, we haven't been able to get them so consistently, for good reason. And because, it takes away from, what he's trying to do too, working just like the rest of us as agents. So I couldn't be more excited about the fact that we've got, this training platform that's coming. And what I'm most excited about is knowing that it's a platform that we really all can trust, because it's one that you guys came from, that you guys have all originally learned from. So we know that it works. And oops, I'll mute a couple people here. So that's probably what I'm most excited about, is the consistency that everybody here is going to get from this, the leadership development that's going to take place for everybody, the personal development that's going to take place for everybody. That if you truly plug into this system, your businesses are just going to skyrocket. And the more people in your organization, that you can get plugged into this system, the faster you're going to be able to run. And because I remember going to these events and Muzaffar would talk about, if you've got a team of people who are going to lock arms and run with you and you're all running at the same speed, you can go so much faster. And he would pull a whole bunch of people up to the front and, do that example of people who'd be pulling back and people who'd be running. And I remember going to these trainings thinking, oh my gosh, if I could just get my team here, if I could just get my whole team here. And, it's crazy because we've had COVID obviously this last year. And, we haven't been able to have these live events, but we have been able to still get a lot of this leadership on Zooms. And a lot of you did get to see, that training that we did on that one Saturday in the fall. And that was just obviously a little small piece, but you guys could see the power behind it. And now that this is going to be a consistent thing in the organization, like I am just so excited. Like, I feel like, anybody who truly wants success, we just need to lock arms, plug in, do everything that you learn, learn it, implement it, evaluate it, learn it, tweak some things, evaluate it, teach it to other people, but just stay plugged in the doing, and the results are going to come. So that was probably one of my biggest takeaways from that.
Fantastic. Ruth, how about you? And then I want to go back to Mike Z, of course, but Ruth, what did you take away? Because I know you haven't probably met Mark before, or maybe you'd seen him over the course of your history in the industry, but what was your takeaway after watching him this week a few times? I know we got the exposure a few times.
Well, a couple of things, Carrie Jo. First of all, I'm super excited to have him as our trainer officially. I think he's going to really do amazing things in terms of keeping people plugged in, getting the skills to actually build a sustainable long-term business. Yes. And it's that consistent training. It's not the training that happens once a year. It's that every 6 weeks we're plugging in, we're learning more, and we're staying connected. And that's what really builds teams. So I'm super excited about that. And the other thing that I'm really, I'm still pretty new here at Secret. I really didn't launch my business until April of last year. But one of the things that I found really remarkable is that every time Secret makes a change, it is truly always with the agents at heart. And the reason I say that is the compensation plan changes that were made are phenomenal. They're phenomenal. And I remember when I first started in the industry 12 years ago, I was in a company, and the compensation plans, they sometimes can feel like confusing and a little bit overwhelming. But I look now back at the compensation plan I was in, and now having coached a lot of network marketers in different companies out there and seeing their compensation plans, what we have is the best. and it continues to get better, right? A lot of times we see companies taking things away in the compensation plan, and that's never been the case. It's always adding to what the agents can earn, and really a success path for agents. So I am like always blown away by our compensation plan. And a lot of times, especially if you're new in the industry, you don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes we have to get into the compensation plan and start working through it and earning income to truly understand how we're getting paid, especially when we're new, right? And we maybe don't really know how the whole thing works. But I got to tell you guys, having been around and seen a lot of compensation plans, ours is, I'm going to go as far to say as the best in the industry. It's certainly the best in the industry that I've ever seen, which gives us a massive opportunity to really not only impact our own lives and our families' lives, but really help impact other people's lives and make those changes, right, that people are looking for. So that's one thing, Carrie Jo, that really, really hit me yesterday was, wow, it just keeps getting better.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's why I couldn't sleep last night. I'm trying to process this new, really almost like Trisha, maybe remember last year when we got in the elevator, when we were in Phoenix at the end of that leadership seminar, you and I and Judy got in the elevator and you said, it's go time. They just released the governors, you know? So do you feel, I remember that conversation, I get goosebumps because I was like, Judy, that's important. You know, so would you agree that it's similar to that, another governor release?
100%. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like, especially on the front end of, the compensation plan, and you're right, I had forgotten about that too. You just mentioned that. But yeah, they, every time Secret makes a change, it really just betters it for everybody. But what I love about our compensation plan as well is I really feel it's fair for everybody, right? Like some compensation plans, like you really only can make money if you're a little higher up. I was talking with somebody yesterday and she was like, wait a minute, are you telling me you get paid 20 to 30% every time you make a sale with that same person? And I'm like, yeah. And I said, you don't? And she said, well, I do the first time, but after that, I only get the volume. I don't get paid any, right?
Whoa.
Yes. And so,
That's
again, people just don't know what they don't know. And so she was just blown away, but I love it because it's not only gets better and better every time, but it's not getting better just for the Crown Royales, or it's not getting better for, just the diamonds and above. A lot of the changes that are made are to make it better on that front end for people coming through those first few ranks. And I love that because it shows people that you can start making money immediately in our compensation plan. And you can make some significant money immediately if you really go to work in this compensation plan. And I love that.
Fantastic. Yeah, it is nice to see everything that they adjust is for our benefit to help our folks make their money earlier on in their journey. And I love what you said, Ruth, too, about this what we're going to be gaining from this, guys, is this as we grow into the training system and duplication system, the skill set for that sustainable long-term business. That's a key phrase. I agree with you, Ruth. That's written into my goals. Every day I repeat that. So sustainable long-term income, sustainable long-term, but it takes that skill set and, honing and polishing and honing and polishing. We talk about specialized knowledge. If you've ever read Think and Grow Rich, specialized knowledge is the key for anybody to get better. And 10,000 hours is, what they say to hone your craft. So I know that there's a gentleman with us as a diamond with the company who's spent more than 10,000 hours investing in his personal development and his growth. And over the course of 2.5 decades, probably phenomenal with results. So Mike, I know that you were pretty in detail with knowing about Mark's experience, because you and I both rode that journey back in the day with Mark and the other company. But on the specialized knowledge and the reason that we should all be plugging in, but also the repetitiveness of the coaching every time that they have a training. Can you share what you took away from yesterday, but also speak to long-term, what that's done for you and what you've seen in the business field as somebody who's a professional from that coaching?
Well, I can tell you firstly, yesterday's, unfortunately, I had to get off like 3 minutes before to do a presentation for Jesse. So I didn't get a chance to watch the very last, however long it went. But I can tell you that from my position of knowing Isaac for, I guess, 3 years now, and having some private time with him as well, I've never seen him more invigorated or more certain and more driven than what he is right now, certainly from the ask of all of us. And obviously he's doing everything possible to make corporate grow as fast as possible. But to have your business triple in a matter of weeks, truly, is something that nobody in this industry has ever seen. No one. I've been a part of a couple of big companies that grew really fast, but nothing like that. And so just watching him was really enough for me. I mean, it was great to have everybody else that was there, but my takeaway from him was like, he's actually talking to me. I don't know how you guys felt it, but it's like, he's actually speaking to me, like what I need to be doing. And, you know, Carrie knows this because we talk almost every day, but, you know, since I knew this was all starting to take place, and certainly having a chance to watch through the weekend as their leaders had a, you know, a private conference in Phoenix, I wake up nervous every day.
Agreed.
I don't know if you have that feeling, and if you don't, that's fine. But I wake up like, I have to run faster. I have to talk to more people. I have to do more. How fast can I, you know, because listen, we can't compare ourselves to other people. We can only compare ourselves to who we were. And it's unfair if you try to compare yourself to someone else, because they may have had a faster learning curve. They may have had better coaching than any of us. And all I know is that, you know, from what I could see from the room over the weekend, was they're just like us. Like when I was telling the story to somebody yesterday that will hopefully be joining our team next week, and I said, you know, that one of the biggest things for me when I first came to this company with our team was going to family reunion, which is that big event that where I met you, Trish, and a lot of other folks. And for the first time in this March will be 25 years in this industry. It goes by really fast, but for the first time in my entire career, I felt like I was with my people. And I don't know if any of you have ever actually felt that yet. And I think that when you get a chance to meet with people in a big room and we're all together, it was like, wow, I'm finally with people that just really have integrity, and they really want to build a business honestly. And it's not about ego and attitudes. And because folks, that's what's in the industry.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And the fact that you're here, some of you have been here for a short time or a long time, you have no idea the gift that we have here being with Secret. And certainly with the new partners that we have on board, it's going to really shine, make this company shine in a very bright way. And I would be remorse. I think I'd be wrong if I said the company won't double. I mean, completely double from what we did in numbers this year.
Right.
Next year. I really just can't see that won't happen. I mean, I can't imagine. See, here's what I'm going to share with the differences for those of us who haven't had the training of Mark Aceta and what he has laid down, and understand I had a chance. The only reason I had success in my first company in this industry, the only reason wasn't with the skill set that I thought that I got. It was taking my people to the trainings.
100%.
And I made sure that, and with every leg that we had in that company, I had somebody representation of those legs in that business at that training. And the business grew in spite of me.
Yes.
In spite of me, because there were people that got it faster than others, and people that had more skill set, or people that had more connections than I had. But when they got all the same information, they walked out of there and they could then grow. The second company I went to was a company called Prepaid Legal. It's funny how so many threads cross one another paths here. The training that Jesse talked about, where there was 1,500 people in the room, I was there. We grew that from 200 people to 1,500 people every other month. And folks, you have that business. That was the fastest I ever grew a business, was that company. And we broke every record in a company that was 29 years old when I joined it. Because of this training, we had some people that were trainers from my first company, a Mazaffer and a gentleman by the name of Nate. They all started putting this training together and everybody started coming to it. And if you were plugged in, we put 50,000 people in an organization in 2.5 years, broke every company record in that company. So if you want to see how important training is, we need to plug every person possible into what's going to happen the third weekend in February. Now, unfortunately, in my opinion, it has to be online.
Yeah.
Because people will be in their own environment and they get pulled away at every possible moment they possibly can. It's different when you make a commitment to be somewhere.
Yeah.
It really is. So if you have people in your area that can all be together in one house, do it. You can all get together at some place, do that. This way that team environment is there, but you also have people keeping accountability for everyone else who's there.
Yeah.
I would do that if you have the opportunity of doing that. I have never had online training before this company because of what we've gone through in the last 2020. Every training I've ever gone to after the first 6 months in this industry, I've traveled to a training somewhere. And I was telling somebody this weekend, I said, we were so committed to training. I had some offices I opened up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my first company. And there was a training in Chicago. We knew it was so important to get our team there. But flights and all that stuff was going to be really expensive. A lot of people couldn't afford it. So myself and one of the other leaders that I had in my office, we rented a bus, like one of those Greyhound Trailblazer buses, whatever they are. We rented a bus on our dime, and then we filled it. And everybody just had to pay a little bit. But we slept on the way to Chicago on the bus and dressed because there was no place to dress when we got there. We weren't able to go to the hotel. So we dressed, drove up there for whatever it took, 8 hours from Pittsburgh, went right into the event, went to the hotel that night, went back, like as soon as the training was over, we were back on the bus. That's the kind of commitment it took when we built that first company. Yep. And I saw people doing it everywhere.
Yep. And
I guarantee the people with the World Ventures team that have now joined our family, they did that.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed they did whatever it took to go to a training. When I was first new in this industry, I remember packing like 9 people into a hotel room and eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. People were sleeping on the floors. People were sleeping in the bathtub. I mean, because that's the kind of commitment we put in. And I didn't know anything different. I didn't want to go, well, I need to have my own king bed and I need to have my own room. I was like, I just need to be at the training.
Yes.
And so my first company, my second company, I had that. My third company, we didn't. And we saw the struggle. And it was pushing and pulling. And just like Trish was saying, people were pulling more than they were pushing because they didn't feel confident. And they didn't feel that they were a part of something. Mm-hmm. At my fourth company, I actually put the training involved there with another friend of mine. And it was amazing to see how that company grew. And we were having trainings at the Long Beach Convention Center of 500 people every other weekend. And they would come out of there like maniacs and the business just grew. So folks, please know that the training that Mark has set up and the team of people that he will eventually have there as knighted trainers and as people who are platinums and above doing local trainings, they will have all the information. they will have what it takes for us with not only just techniques, but mindset and how to break through some of those psychological barriers that a lot of us have. And a lot of us still have. It will take you through that fear onto the side of, you know, everything you're evaluating is really just false and you just need to push through. And you'll come out of there with not just information, you'll come out of there with a belief that you can do this.
Yeah.
But the important part about the trainings is we have to have our teams there. We have to have our teams there. That is what's going to be critical for our business or our growth. There's not a person here that can't put actually, if you wrote your goals out, I mean, I have them here every day. I read them when I first wake up and when I go to bed. I mean, they're here every day. If you don't have a goal card of what your rank is going to be in your first 90 days, you're not in the game. You're just not. What you want to actually make, what's the financial goal that you have for this year? And, you know, I had a good talk with Muzaffar last night. We always talk super late at night because he thinks that everybody sleeps like he does.
Never.
Like never.
Ever.
And he called me at 9 o'clock. He says, listen, I'll call you back later. I know it's getting close to your bedtime. I'm like, okay. So he calls me back really late and we talk and he's like, listen, I need you to throw logic in the trash can. He says, you are a very logical thinker. And right now I need you to get rid of logic. And you know what? I took that to heart last night. I really did. And I've been thinking about it. But he's like, take that logic of what's possible and throw it away. And just do what you did when you actually launched 7.2. For those of you who don't know, that was the nutrition before it was Life by Secret. And I had a 30-day run into the day one of when we launched 7.2. I had no clue how I was going to hit the top of that company. Like, I threw logic in the trash. I have no idea how it's going to happen, but I'm just going to take the massive action that I need to take to make it happen. And it actually happened one day before the end of the month. Because I threw out logic. Because I know a lot of us, I'm sure I'm not the only green bean here. We think about what is logically possible for me to hit if I talk to, and I do this. Well, I look into my past and I say, well, I was able to do this over a period of a year. So that would only mean that the progression of that year would take me out to this. I will leave you with what Muzaffar told me is it is time to take the logical cap off and throw it away. And put down goals that you will absolutely hit and read them every day and every night. I mean, I have a financial goal here and I go, okay. I'm not going, well, let me see, let me work that backwards. I'm not doing that. I mean, last night was a really good conversation. It always seems that, and I'm sure that some of you have had a chance to talk to Muzaffar. He usually has a way to understand where we are.
Yeah.
And that's the uniqueness of who he is as a man and as a trainer and as a leader. He has a uniqueness to be able to see inside our brains and really say maybe just a few things that goes, oh. And that was the one thing. He wasn't like, when we talked about other things, but I was like, you need to take your logic hat off and throw it away. Forget about all that. And this is a new year. And I told him all the things I had done at the beginning of the year. And he says, great. But throw the logic out and just go into the action that you know how to do. I said, okay. So we have a very unique year ahead of us. I think that some people are going to be very surprised at where they end up this year. And I think that those of you that are here that don't take Trish's or Ruth's or Carrie's or myself, our experience or words to heart, unfortunately, some of you may not be here. because you'll let something in your head get the better of you instead of going, okay, that's what Trish said. That's what I need to do. That's what Ruth said. That's what I need to do. That's what Carrie said. That's what I need to do. And, you know, I love the fact that Trish brings up that verse that she actually wrote down and put it on her wall when I had a chance to speak at my very first conference here. And that couldn't be more true. But if other people believe in you more than you believe in yourself, lean into their belief and act as if. Act as if that was your belief. If you truly believe that you can make 10 calls a day, then make 10 calls a day. If you truly believe you can make 15 to 20 calls a day, then make 20 calls a day. But some people don't do the activities because they're afraid that they can't be perfect. And I can tell you, I still mess it up today. I'm not perfect. I'm a little better than I used to be. But I try to, with everything I do every day, I try to be better. I don't have great days every single day. I hope that those of you who are out there, the leaders here, like we're real people. You know, underneath this shirt isn't a big S and a tape on my back. That's not how I know. I know. I keep it hidden. But the reality is we're real people. We have great days and we have crappy days.
True.
The difference is we don't stay there. Becoming a leader means being consistent. That doesn't mean in just activity, that means in attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of us can have great days, and then some of us have really bad days, and a lot of us stay there way too long. Don't raise your hand, Carrie. You've gotten way better.
I've been guilty though. I haven't. We're all human, you know.
We are, but we're just people. That's it. The only difference between us and those of us that are here that are leadership today, and you're all leaders because you're here, you showed up when probably 100 could have. You showed up. Showing up is half the battle. I can tell you that right now. But the attitude needs to be consistent too. The attitude needs to be consistent. My days where I have down days, I snap out of it by doing something I like to do, or some music that I love to hear, or looking at my goals, or reading the sheets that we all have from what I love about myself. And those of you who know, been to the training with Muzaffar, those are things we can go back to and read. I just don't stay there as long as I used to. There were times back in my history of this industry where I would have a bad week and it would hang on for 2-3 weeks. Like I just couldn't get it out of my head. Now I don't have it down to minutes. I'm working on getting there, but it may just be for, an hour or two. And I go, okay, what do I do? I can't be here. I cannot be here. I can't make calls in this state. I can't be positive in this state. I can't convey a message in this state. Because we're looking for a lot of people. I'm looking for 1,000 people. I don't know about you. I'm looking for 1,000 people this year. What's your number? And my actual real recruiting goal is 100 personals. And if you were in that weekend, this weekend, Trish, did you notice that most of those leaders there, some of who have made ridiculous money, all said they were going to go out and they were going to recruit 100 people? Brand new. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand, some of these folks in that room are making over 7 figures a year. But also you have a room of people, and you have to take this and think about how you would be. A room of people that were all extremely high 6-figure and 7-figure earners that stayed together and haven't been paid really that much in 2 years. Paid maybe a couple times in 2 years. How many of you would actually be here because you knew the focus of our company and the goal of our company and really helping people and becoming a servant attitude, having a servant's attitude? How many of you would really stay here if you didn't get paid a dime?
Right. People would be.
Or a 1/100th of what you were owed.
Mhm.
That is what Marcus set up, was able to instill in that family, is that together we can achieve way more. Staying together, we're going to end up somewhere. We're going to stay together. And I got to tell you, I don't know. I wasn't a part of that training for 15 years with Mark, but I can only imagine what he instilled in those individuals, because that is a task that I've never seen in this industry. Typically, when a company starts to have challenges, people disband like you've never seen it.
Yep.
I mean, like running wolves to every opportunity and every offer they get. And we're so very fortunate to have a very highly skilled group of people that are just like us, heart-centered, God-centered, belief-centered, and they all believe in Isaac. When are we going to get those shirts back? That's all I want to know. That I'm an Isaac. Come on, Trish. I know you can work your ways down there. Let's make it happen.
Magic.
I'm sure we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I want one.
Listen, me too. I just think that, imagine everyone showing up at a conference and everybody has that T-shirt on. I mean,
Yeah.
how cool. I mean, we can never repay Isaac for what he's done for us, but we can repay him by what we show, how we show up, and what we can build. And
He mentioned that last night. He needs us to be leaders. He needs us to step up and do more, be resourceful. You know, Mike, is that where you were going, in that direction?
yeah, it's we really do need to step up. It's time to take that step into those boots that sometimes aren't very comfortable to stay in. But that's where we need to be. We need to be leaders, all of us here. You need to be a leader of the people who will follow you. Because when he says 10 to $20 million, $20 billion, he's not kidding.
Nope.
No.
Do you realize the biggest, the largest, the granddaddy of the industry does about 12.5 billion a year? They have been there for a long, long time. They haven't seen any growth since then. We could smoke them.
Oh yeah.
We could go right by there in 5 to 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Imagine being where we are today and being a part of the giant that actually is in the industry, when still nobody has heard of us. Nobody.
May I ask a question? I'm really new to this network marketing stuff. Who is the giant in the
That would be
industry?
Amway.
Thank you.
And 90% of their business is outside of the US. But, and listen, we have to thank them because they gave us the ability, they went up against the government to say it was the legal way of doing business. And that's why we have this opportunity. And, you know, believe me, the people that own that company, I mean, we have arenas down here. And
Yeah.
I mean, but we truly have that shot. And I can tell you, I've been a part of real fast momentum. Well, when Isaac talks this hyper growth or hyper momentum, I don't know what that is. I know what momentum is. I've been a part of it. And by doing nothing different other than what I knew to do, getting people to training, continue to make calls. I had a lot of ad calls in those days still in California. Continue to show up, doing presentations, sitting down, doing one-on-ones, getting my people started right. My income went up in my first company 6 times. So take that monthly income you have right now, imagine 6 times that.
Very good.
I mean, that's where we no longer have to look at the menu from the left to the right, or from the right to the left. Like, what does it cost and what do I want to eat?
The journey is going to be super fun, guys, and it's so exciting. Pinch yourself and remember that this is the beginning of it, and this is huge. Now, there's somebody who's on the call with us too as a diamond leader that we haven't heard from. Leah, if you wouldn't mind, I know you've been with Secret a long time, probably longer, if I'm not mistaken, more than 4 years, right? More than 5 years. So can you bring in your perspective, because you've seen this journey you know, from Secret and where we're at now. How are you feeling about where we're at? Where are you at, Leah?
I'm gonna stay. Sorry guys, I have goals to wake up at 6 a.m. and I haven't met those yet.
That's okay. You don't need your camera. I love it.
See,
It's all good.
I've never been a morning person ever in my life, and every time I think of it, my alarm went off, and that's the last I remember. So you guys, please bear with me. I forgive myself. Anyway.
All good.
So anyways, I am so excited, as we all are, and just to feel the energy from, as an energy person, I feel energies, and to see that conviction in Isaac was like, this is gonna be big. Like every hair behind, I got these, and I remember when I started Secret, and I was in a company where we had huge momentum. And once things started clicking, I couldn't stop it. Just like Mike said, it just all of a sudden took a life of its own. And this is, I didn't have to just keep grinding the wheel. And I feel like with these systems in place, and it was the systems that we needed, which I've been praying and trying to create our own, and then this person, and as a company, when we all align and have this same system, and we all have this uncontrollable wheel that continues to turn, we're gonna have to work it. We're gonna have to stay focused. It's not gonna be easy, but I truly believe, like, once we get this in our teams, it's going to, we're going to see so many people on our teams have success. And there's nothing more addictive than other people on your team calling you and going, I'm so excited. This is happening. I've reached this rank, and you're pushing different, there's nothing more excited than that. So forget my goals. The only way I can get to my goals is by helping people. And if I, as a leader, believe in systems, I know that this is truly possible. And I felt that because when I started Secret, after my business closed their doors, and I looked at a ton of companies, and because of where I was in my business, I had lots of companies reaching out to me. They wanted me to see this, they wanted me to do that. I talked to many owners, and something about Secret, all the little hairs on the back of my head, on the neck, like got all like prickly. And I was like, okay, the universe is telling me, or whatever, my intuition, this is where I need to go. Has it been easy? No, it hasn't been easy, but that happened last night. And I was like, thank you. I literally prayed afterwards. I didn't do a lot of calls last night. I needed to just be in my moment, realign myself, and really take it in. And there's everything in me knows we are in the right place at the right time with the right people. And we're gonna it's gonna be a great ride. So yeah, reach out to everybody, whether they have, a red line around them or a dotted line around them, try to get them to watch that. And if they don't, okay, next, that's okay. I'll reach out again, because when we actually have that super traction, which I know is going to happen, and people are going to have to be like, okay, so and that's the thing, is every 3 months, every 4 months, people's life change. Go through your organizations, and then also start sharing with some new people. And thank you guys. I just love being part of this leadership team. I appreciate it. It's definitely I'm so excited to work with all of you.
Absolutely. This is just the same thing what you said about the hair standing up. I got the goosebumps all up and down, man. It was, you just know with that energy, right? It's so cool. Leah, did you have a question, or does somebody in your team or anybody have questions about the new enhancements? Because I don't know all the details yet. I just know that the executive spot's going away, and I think it starts on the 19th, unless Trish, Mike, unless you guys have more insight on that. Do you have questions or knowledge on it? Anybody?
there was just a lot of information going on, and honestly I missed that. I have to go and listen to it again, the first portion, because I'm like, I know there was a change in our comp program and you guys are all excited, and I missed it. I know a lot of my team missed it, so
Um,
This is John, but he's muted, so that's weird. John, it's your phone. There you go. All right. So all I know is the executive spots being removed. That means that we can get cycle bonuses for our new people earlier on. They don't have to.
Yeah,
have-
that
Right, go ahead.
part's pretty big, actually. For
Good.
'cause I think, and some people may not understand this, and I can share it because it didn't. The way that it's currently going to be is the way it used to be in the comp plan, and somehow it got changed and nobody realized it changed until last year. Mazafar and I found it when we were doing the comp plan video. So what this means is it's the binary, the team commissions. So every time you have that 300, 600, the way it was written before, you had to be an executive to get paid out.
Right.
Now, though, you don't have, like, they removed the rank of executive. So even if you do a 300, 600, you're not bronze yet, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get paid that cycle bonus, which
So-
is huge, because I know I've got people on my team who actually have banked volume that they haven't been paid on, that they're going to get a check next week and whenever it kicks in, and they're going to be really excited. So this is really cool, because think about it. If you've got, so basically you just need to be active and you need to be qualified, right? You need to be active and qualified. And then when you hit that 300, 600, you're still going to qualify. Now you'll get paid 10%, which is $30, not the 15% that you get at bronze or above. But you can still start receiving that bonus. So that's a big one.
That is huge, huge, huge. And people could get paid earlier, which is what we want for people to have that.
I'm sorry, Trish, what was that percentage?
So it's 10%. So you get the $30 because
$30,
it's
right.
off that 300. So it's 10% of 300, which is $30. Then when you get to bronze, you get that pay raise of 15%,
Yeah.
which goes to $45 for every cycle.
Yeah. Is that clear for everybody? Any other
May I ask you a
questions?
question? So does that mean that I might have money sitting there I didn't know about to get paid on?
Potentially, yes. But I don't, Genevieve, possibly, but I'm not sure, because you've also been ranked. So you may have been getting paid out on it. This is definitely more for people who weren't holding the rank of executive or higher.
So it's like I like fluctuate.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
we'll have to look
Okay.
at your numbers, but it's possible and it will kick in. But I know for sure I've got some other people who have qualified in the organization, and they're going to be very excited about it.
So some of my people below me might get paid out if they were qualified. If they haven't hit bronze yet, they might still.
Potentially, yes.
Get money.
Yes, that's possible. We'll have to go through and look, but it's, yes, there is a possibility for that, 100%.
Thanks for explaining that. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it makes a big difference for all of us. That's why we're here. The huddles are for us to, ask questions and grow. I mean, we've got our stuff to share, but this is this last couple minutes before I wrap it up. Does anybody else have anything else that is bugging
Trish,
them?
I have another question for Trish. And I don't know where this skipped me, and Mazafar and I didn't talk about this last night. On the mission 1, mission 2, and mission 3, which we need to change in the presentation, by the way.
Yes. Oh my gosh, today.
Is it for the sponsoring agent picks up 50, 100, and 250? Or is it for the agent accomplishing the mission gets the 50, the 100, and the 250?
You know what? I'm not 100%. I've got a couple of my people shaking their head that it's the person accomplishing it.
That's what I
Okay.
think.
That's what he said.
Okay. And I thought it was that, but I'm not 100%, but I do think that that is what it is, which is great, as opposed to just the product credit or just the tickets.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he said they got rid of the case and the tickets and all that, and that not to worry if people wanted a case, because with travel coming, there'd be something else. That's what
Yeah.
he said.
It sounded to me like he said that the new agent would get mission 1 $50 product credit, $100 product credit for 2.
Yeah, that's why I'm unclear, because I thought they were getting $400 product credit.
Altogether,
So
that would be, yeah.
I feel like I need to rewatch that part of it and get clarification as well, Mike. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, what I wrote down was it goes into the wallet on the Friday following, just like we would be getting paid if we were getting commission. So they can use it without having to wait till the next month,
Got it.
which is cool. But my question is, the agent that's sponsoring that person, they're still getting paid the 120 mentor bonus collectively, right? So that's a good question for us to
As far as I know, that
get clarity.
They
Yeah, I'm
didn't
not
mention
100%.
changing that. They didn't mention
Yes, so-
changing that at all.
no, they didn't mention that. So we'll have
That's
to.
huge.
We need to get a little clarity on that.
Yes.
And Jenny, I'm not 100% sure on yours either, because I know they said something about giving. You're never going to lose whatever you have. If something happens and it changes, they're going to give you something in place of it. It'll never go away. But the specifics on that, I'm not 100% sure. But I will reach out to Jesse and get some clarification for you guys on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And,
Excellent. Go ahead.
does anybody else have any questions on that? Because if not, I just wanted to add one thing quick.
Go ahead.
I don't want to answer if anybody had any questions first. Mike had mentioned something before, and it kind of just triggered this in my mind. And he was talking about, how quickly you can pull yourself out of a slump. And I just wanted to share with you guys, I don't know how you guys start your day, but I want to encourage you, if you've got, gratitude you read, or if you've got goals that you read, or if you've got any of those things, I highly suggest starting that way. But I can share with you on my journey through personal development that this is a huge game changer in your life and in your business, when you can really get to the point when something happens that you can get out of it really quickly. And I know for myself, I personally start the day with gratitudes. I usually do a workout. While I'm getting ready, I usually listen to some sort of audiobook or something. But I'll be honest, at the same time, I'm reading the book a lot of times. So because there are certain things you're going to pick up from the audio, and then there's certain things you're going to pick up when you read it. But it's something that I do. And I know the other thing I do is I have been to Ms. Offers trainings where we have our list of 10 things. I have it scheduled on my phone as a reminder. Like, my alarm will go off in the morning to read them, and it goes off at night to read them. And that way I never, ever forget doing them. But I can tell you that was a big, big game changer for me in my business, when I really started making sure I started my day the right way and ended the right way. And even I go way back to when I got started in my first company, they had, this is kind of funny, they had those VHS tapes.
Uh-huh.
And we had like our seminars and stuff. And I would listen to those while getting ready in the morning. I also have affirmations on my mirror. I read through them every single day. I have them written out. And I did that way back then. Some things may sound silly, but when you do these every single day, it makes such a huge difference when you can be consistent with this and do it over time. It's not just about getting the first 7 days or 14 or those 21. It's making it that habit to do always going forward. And if something happens and you get in one of those things and you're really struggling, like for some reason you can't, then get on the phone with your upline and get out of it as quickly as you can. Because if you try to just continue to get out of it yourself, you're going to stay in that funk way too long, and you can't do that, right? You all of a sudden are going to make decisions that you shouldn't be making because your mind's not in the right place. So get on with somebody who's going to help pull you out of that as quickly as possible, because that will be a game changer in your business.
I agree 100% what she said. Thank you. Thank you for wrapping it up. I was going to wrap it with something different, but I don't need to. That is phenomenal. It does take that repetition of good daily habits for any success in anything, like we talked about, that 10,000 hours, right? So you've got that 10,000 hours invested in yourself, your personal development, plus more than that. And that shows, guys. So this is all we're doing. We just get ourselves plugged into stuff that works for us. Find your guru, whatever works for you, that stimulates you, use a tool that works for you. We all have coping mechanisms outside of our business that we can use to help us with all those things. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing that you are doing. I haven't set the phone alarm yet, but what you're talking about every morning, there's a routine. It just makes the day better, right? Like by noon, you feel like, okay, I got the rest of the world to conquer now. You got a lot done by noon, right? So this is a great day to apply and implement all the energy and enthusiasm that we've got. And it's been a great week of just being poured into from the leadership, the company, the directors of training, Mark, and what's happening on that end. I get the full goosebumps right now. I know we're going to have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to do all your activities, you know, reaching out. And we do have a brand new 100 people list, just like you said, Mike. I got one too. It's fun as heck. It's fun as heck to go back to the beginning and just go, all right, enthusiasm, plug people into the system, let the systems work for you, throw logic out the window, but keep your daily method of operation being consistent, you know, and having the attitude is the main thing. So I appreciate everybody being here with us today on this huddle. Let's take this energy into the day, into the weekend. There's a lot of events happening this weekend. If you haven't gotten a clue about them, connect with your upline and invite and or create one. And let's share our product and our message and have a good time doing it. Sound good, everybody?
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much for
Awesome.
being here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you.